And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Friday, March 21st, 2025. And looking at what's going on across the state of Alaska, we're going to be watching a frontal boundary or trough that's going to produce a band of light to moderate snow over areas of the west coast and western interior through the course of the weekend. Several inches of snow could fall in a few areas. As for along the panhandle, look for periods of rain or snow, and that will also extend along the Gulf Coast this weekend into much of next week. And then as far as astronomy is concerned, we had the arrival of the spring equinox very early Thursday morning at 1:01 a.m. Alaska daylight time. And so now we are gaining about over 5.5 minutes of daylight each day. Last quarter moon is tonight with a new moon occurring March 29th. And it looks like we're going to see below normal temperatures here at the end of March into early April. So no quick spring warm-ups on the way. Savunga, clear sunny sky, but cold, 2 below zero as of mid-afternoon. There's some very cold air over the Chukchi Sea and over eastern Russia. But there's also a boundary that's helping to create a band of light to moderate snow. Anvik reporting some light snow this afternoon and 27 degrees there. And as we go further toward the east, Kodiak Island, some light rain showers and 41 in places along the Gulf like Kodiak, as well as Seward, and then back through the Panhandle. We'll see periods of rain and some areas snow, especially as you get up into the coastal mountains. Hoonah, partly sunny, 40 degrees. And these are the current advisories. We have a winter weather advisory that is in effect now through 7 a.m. Sunday morning. The potential exists here along the east side of Norton Sound from Gullivan, Koyuk down through Shaktoolik, Unalakleet, and Stebbins could pick up 4 to as much as 8 inches of snowfall now through Sunday morning. Also other areas along especially the east side of Kotzebue Sound, and then this stretch of the Yukon and Kuskokwim rivers in the vicinity of Anvik, Holy Cross, and Russian Mission. We'll see some periods of light to moderate snow this weekend as a result of this boundary. It's just going to be pretty much stationary. And then of note, this time of year, we're especially concerned about avalanches, and we do have a considerable avalanche risk for Turnagain Pass as well as Moose Pass, and then the area and the mountains there near and east of Valdez, including Thompson Pass. So keep that in mind. And then for just the satellite imagery, we can see this general low pressure circulation here over the lower Gulf and kind of that popcorn variety of the clouds, a little more of convective in nature as we get the warming now as we're getting into the spring season. So that tends to enhance some showers during especially the daytime. We continue to watch a couple areas of low pressure here down in the North Pacific and then trailing back on out across the Aleutians. So late tonight into Saturday morning, all that's really left of the low pressure here is this trough as it continues to weaken. And then this trough or front, this divides some much colder air, especially the Bering Strait westward into eastern Russia. And it's along this boundary through the course of this weekend, we're going to see some periods of light to moderate snow, especially down here along the east side of Kotzebue Sound and Norton Sound, and then down into areas here of the Yukon and Kuskokwim Basin. And for Saturday, more of the same. Saturday afternoon, that trough just sitting there near stationary and along that boundary. That's a convergence zone that allows the air to come together and rise upward. So that's why you have these areas of light to moderate snow. Another very weak low circulation out over the central Bering. And then this collection of some lows, the North Pacific kind of pivoting back up toward the Gulf Coast and Panhandle as this front lifts north and then northwestward. That's going to bring additional precipitation to the Panhandle here for the later weekend, for Sunday. And we still have that persistent trough along the west side of the state, though I think it'll start to lose some of its punch, especially as we get into Sunday and Monday. And then still that trough, though, is there, so there could still be some lingering areas of light snow along it. And we have a low that's situated just southwest of the Gulf with additional old frontal boundaries, now just troughs and Again, this will be another push of some moisture working its way, rotating back up to the north and west across the Panhandle as we go through Monday afternoon, and then way out along the Kamchatka coast there. We do have a frontal system pushing in through the Aleutians. So lows tonight will be pretty cold here. Lisburn Peninsula, 13 below at Point Hope, 12 below at Shishmaref, 9 below at Savunga. So this air is even colder further west you go. And then readings most everywhere below freezing, with maybe the exception of Kodiak City and along the immediate Gulf Coast and in central and southern portion of the Gulf, just lows stopping in the mid-30s. Daytime highs Saturday afternoon, again with the power of the sun now this time of year. Anchorage Bowl, Talkeetna will be up around 40 degrees, the west side of the Kenai Peninsula, including Saldana, especially if you're in a location that doesn't have much in the way of snow, like the valley there, Wasilla, Palmer. You could easily get temperatures in the lower to even mid-40s with that strong solar heating now that we're seeing. But readings stay cold, single digits above zero along the northwest Arctic coast, the Chukchi coastline through the Bering Strait, St. Lawrence, and even down here though, Nunavik Island, pretty chilly there, single digits for highs at Makoriak. And Sunday morning lows still getting below zero along the north slope, Arctic coast, western Seward Peninsula, including Whale, Shishmaref down to Savunga, and then again cold here in the lower Yukon. We're looking at readings a little bit below zero, Imanak, and again down toward even Bethel could be down near just a bit below zero. And then the outlook for Sunday afternoon, temperatures warmest here, southern Panhandle, getting up into the mid, maybe a couple of upper 40s. We're even seeing temperatures though get above freezing in through the central interior around Fairbanks, and then down here through the Susitna, Matsu valleys, and again Anchorage, along the western Kenai, getting up into the lower 40s for highs. Coolest readings now again along the Beaufort Seacoast, the Chukchi Seacoast, and extending all the way down in the lower Yukon, Kuskokwim Delta's highs Sunday afternoon may only be in the single digits above zero. So here's the extended temperature outlook here to close out the month of March, start first few days of April. So March 29th through the 4th, this is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, but note, temperatures are expected to average a bit below normal across much of the mainland into the Panhandle. And so as a result, we're not expecting any notable warm-ups yet. And precipitation may average a little above normal here along the Brooks Range, east central interior, dipping down toward Fairbanks and Northway, but especially along the Arctic coast and northwest Chukchi Sea coastline. Whereas precipitation may average a little below normal, a little maybe drier than normal along Kuskokwim, Bristol Bays, and then extending down along the Alaska Peninsula.